In this video, we will look at the Duetta pad in Ableton Live 11 Lite and see if we can create a song with only this sound. Welcome to Songwriting Explained, videos that help you with your songwriting. Okay, so we're here for another Ableton session. This time we're using the Duetta pad to create a song. So as usual, we'll start by removing these audio tracks, right-clicking and deleting. And we're left with our two MIDI tracks. So today we're under Sounds, Ambient and Evolving, fourth one down, Duetta pad. Here's how that sounds. As usual, you can mute using the headphone icon. I'll play the sample again. Okay, so to load this onto the track, we left click, drag to the first clip, drop, allow that to load. And you can see down here we've got the Duetta pad. We're not going to change anything here, so don't worry if this is intimidating or confusing. We're just using default sounds to see what is possible. To create the MIDI clip, we double click on the top rectangle here. And you can see this has loaded the MIDI editor down here. So we've got the piano roll here. If you click this headphone and click on a note, you can hear the sound. We're going to do a 4-bar turnaround in this example. So you see here for the length, if we left click and scroll up, we'll get 4 bars. So we've got 4 bars here. We're doing this in the key of C major. So if we click on scale, C major is the default. If you click this drop down, you can choose any key you like. So C major. The notes of C major are highlighted here. If you click on this button, it hides the notes that aren't in the scale, but we'll leave it as is. So we're going to do a turnaround using the 1, 4 and 5 chords, and we're going to use 2 first inversions in this turnaround. Now, if you don't understand what this is, you can check out our videos, in particular the one on major chord inversions. But you can still watch along here, and the process will be the same with any chord that you choose to use. So the chords we need are C, F and G, and we'll start with the 1 chord. So the 1 chord is C, and that has the notes C, E and G. So to enter notes in Ableton for a MIDI clip, you just double click on the note you want. We're going to scroll down here to a slightly lower register. Okay, so C2. So we need C. So you double click. That creates a note at this default length here. You see it says 1/16. We can change the length of the note by using this little handle and clicking and dragging. So we also need E. And G. So that's a C chord for a bar. You can see at the top we've got 1 and 2. So this is for 1 bar. So our next chord is the first inversion of the 5 chord. So we won't do any inversions yet. We'll just do the basic 5 chord, and then we'll come back and do the inversions in a minute. So the 5 chord in the key of C is G. And G has the notes G, B and D. So let's enter them next. There's G. B. And D. The next chord in our turnaround is the 4 chord, which is F. Again, it will become a first inversion, but we'll do the basic chord first. So the notes we need are F, A, and C. Here's F. A. And C. And then the final chord is a 5 chord on its own, a plain 5 chord. We've already got one here. You can see we've got the G chord. So if you left click and drag, you can highlight notes. And then there are several ways to copy notes, but we'll do Control and C on the keyboard. This is in Windows, by the way. And then we'll click where we want these notes again and press Control V to paste. And there's a copy, single bar of the 5 chord. Okay, so we haven't put our inversions in yet, but this is how it sounds at the moment. Okay, so the second chord here, we want to create a first inversion. You can see at the moment the lowest note is the G, but we want our lowest note to be B. So what we can do is left click on this note to highlight, and we still need a G note in the chord, but it needs to be higher so that the B note becomes the lowest. So with this highlighted, if we just use the up arrow on our keyboard, you can also click and drag, but we'll use the up arrow. And we're looking for G. A couple more. There we are. Okay, so that's our first inversion. And then same process for the 4 chord. So this is an F chord. At the moment, the lowest note is F. We want the lowest note to be A. So we'll highlight the F and move it up. I went too far there. Okay. So that's our chord progression done. Let's have a listen. And it's a turnaround, so you can just let it repeat as much as you want. We'll stop it there. Okay, so we're going to create a simple melody next. So again, we come back up to the left-hand side here, click and drag the Duetta pad across to the second track. Here it is, double click, create our new Midi track. Again, change this to 4 bars. Now we want it in a slightly higher register than the chords. So you can see the chords kind of went from C2 to C3, coming up to C4 for the inversions, but so we'll do our melody around C4, so it's slightly higher. So what you can do here, again, you can just double click and enter the notes. You can click play and it will loop. You hear the chords and you can enter your notes as you go if you want. You can stop that and it will just keep looping. Looping our melody so we can enter it like this. So you're just clicking, experimenting. We're only using the notes in the C major scale. And you can edit the note lengths as required. So if I want to duplicate that, I can left click, highlight all the notes, right click, select duplicate. And then with this group selected, I can move. See, they move as a group. Okay, we'll settle with that. And then we can bring, if we click play on the chords, we can bring them back in. Yeah, it's quite loud. So this first knob here is called the track pan. So let's move the chords slightly to the left. And we'll move the melody slightly to the right. And then you see these triangles here, they're the volume for each track. Let's bring that down a bit. So you can see it's possible to create a song using the Duetta pad sound. Quite harsh in the higher registers, but unlike if you've seen some of our other videos in the ambient and evolving section, you would have seen that sometimes you can't hear the melody at all. So this Duetta pad has enough cut through to create a melody, a high melody, as well as chords. Again, it's not the sole purpose of ambient and evolving sounds. They're more for single notes sustained to fill in the background, but at least it's possible. At least you know the Duetta pad can cut through. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to Songwriting Explained for more songwriting content. If you'd like some more Ableton Live 11 Lite videos, then there's a playlist on screen for you now.